Welcome to Universal Consciousness. In today's episode, we'll be exploring the enigmatic terminology and understanding for mysticism. What does it bring to the table and how has it been portrayed throughout the ages? Now, mysticism is a term often shrouded in mystery itself and has captivated plenty of humans throughout the lifetime and through its imagination for centuries. Mysticism represents a deeply spiritual and contemplative practice, which is transcending the boundaries of the organized way of thinking within the religious aspect and devolving into the realm of personality within the self, the I perspective, is a direct experience with the divine or the ultimate reality of consciousness. Now, mysticism, exploring its origins, there's key principles that you want to take in your attention and is enduring the significance of today's word as the world understands for mysticism. What do they understand? Now, the roots of mysticism can be traced back to ancient civilizations where individuals sought out to connect with numinous or sacred divinity within the I, the self. Certain perspectives of ancient traditions have been passed down, such as the Sufi poets from the Islams, the Christian mystics, and the Hindus per se also have passed down several information due to the mystic experience. Now, mysticism often emerges as a reaction to be perceived through the limitations of the religious dogmas and rituals, emphasizing a more direct and personal connection to the divine. It is about the union with the divine. It is the core at the mystic experience that seeks to establish a union within the lower realms and higher realms of consciousness, better understood for a communion with the divine. This is often described by the mystics from ancient civilizations as they call it the experience with the absolute or God. This will actually be the ultimate reality. Mystics believe that in this union, it brings a profound spiritual transformation as the self becomes enlightened. Mysticism places a heavy emphasis on personal growth within the inner experiences of the divine. Therefore, everybody can have a different experience to their own growth. These experiences are often described as ineffable, which is transcending the limits of language and logic. Now, this is the reason why mystics rely on meditation, such as prayers and other contemplative practices to facilitate these attributes. Now, as we journey beyond the mundane understanding of mysticism, is very intertwined with the spirituality aspect of the word, and it's very profound understanding that has captive many the ideologies through the fascination of the human centuries. It is a term that is often conjuring with its images throughout the patterns of the ritual esoteric knowledge. Yet in the core, mysticism represents a universal quest for a deeper connection with the divine. It is all about exploring the inner self and the encounter with the higher realms of consciousness, which is the higher self. Mysticism is various culture can be traced back since the ancient mystics in the India, such as those within the Hindus and the Buddhist traditions sought out, like the Buddha, Krishna, etc. All these aspects transcend the boundaries of the physical world through the meditation and self-realization. Now in the West, mysticism has found expressions in writings of certain Christians, for example like the Saint Teresa of Avila and Saint John of the Cross, just to mention a few, who has all emphasized in the direct communion with the higher realms. This is what mainly comes up when you talk about mysticism. It's a profound understanding of the higher reality within the state of consciousness that transcends the ordinary perceptions. All mystics report that a sense of unity within the existence is what unveils as you feel the oneness with the divine and the overwhelming sense of totally bliss. These experiences are deeply personal and to each on its own path of evolution. This is why it's so difficult to grasp out the patterns, what to play out. However, it is very difficult for a mystic to put it into words, which can lead them into certain topics for metaphor as far as symbolism to convey their insights. Mysticism encompasses a wide range of practices from all traditions. Mainly is all about meditation throughout the contemplation and the rituals of the prayers, which are more common in this avenue for seekers who embark these mystical journeys. There's a lot of symbolism in the Kabbalistic patterns as well, also in the Zen. And as you continue to grow and approach this topic, you definitely see the patterns throughout the cultures, how they vary from timeline to timeline. However, they do face different controversies through challenges, and this is why they all change within their own aspect. However, mysticism is not without its challenges on its own. Mysticism is a very skeptic topic and is often questions the validity of mystical experience, attributing them to the psychological phenomena In addition to this topic, the diversity of mystical traditions, they all lead to conflicting beliefs and interpretations, which can lead them to argue that mysticism can be a source of insight versus an experience. However, it is an experience throughout the enlightenment once you live it out. This is why we cannot per se a specific way of the mystic. However, everybody has experienced a different delusion as to their own fanatism. Now, in the modern mysticism, it continues to evolve. However, each individual goes through their own affiliation depending on their religious aspect, and they all seek the moments of transcendence as to what we call today spiritual awakening. These practices, like mindfulness, meditation, and exploring the self-consciousness, these are all psychedelics that have gained popularity as a pathway to the mystical experience. Nonetheless, this is very close to the aspect of the mysticism, and it can definitely be rich in history and diverse manifestations. This reminds us that the human yearning for something beyond the ordinary, it will always invite you to explore the depths of your own consciousness. As you seek unity with the divine, this will help you transcend the boundaries of the material world. In the contemporary practices, mysticism remains as a timeless and enigmatic journey for all humans to experience through the invite of the quest for the unknown. As we continue to unveil the deeper understanding of the mysticism within the mystic world, we would like to brush up on certain aspects of the terminology that can really help understand what this is all about. And the mystical state of consciousness is normally associated with the outer state of consciousness. This is why mystic means by ecstasy, such as visions, and a sense of unity with creation. These states are all seen through gateways of deeper spiritual realms, which all lead to higher realms of consciousness. This is some of the aspects of the mystic. However, there's also ethical aspects that's dealing with the moral aspect of the transformation. The realization of a divine unity often results in compassion, empathy, and a commitment to serving for others. This is the enduring significance of mysticism throughout the ages, and it can be contemporary with the New World, or it just might continue to grow in each own way of significance for each individual as they experience their own inner dialogue per se. Now, it's all about the inner faith that the mystic will have the experience through the serving of a bridge. Depending on the culture, this will be different attributes through its own religious aspect, and some mystics from various backgrounds often find common that they share experiences through the divine fostering interfaith with the dialogue as they understand what is the personal spiritual growth from the I. Many individuals turn to mysticism as a path of personal growth and self-discovery. It can become practical or meditative, or very contemplative, is all associated within the topic of mysticism. These are all tools for the inner peace of enlightenment. You might also find enlightenment in the inspiration of the arts. Now, mystics like to deal with all different aspects of the arts. It has been a source of inspiration for many ages through literature, music, and poetry. Art can be influenced by many aspects. Now, as you understand what the mystic experience is all about, and you can see what the mysticism realm can bring to your table, you will see that it is a profound, enduring aspect of spiritual transcendence through the boundaries of your own understanding as life explores itself within the depths of your own consciousness. As you grasp a better understanding for the word mysticism or what the mystic experience is all about, you can definitely come to your own conclusions that it's an intuitive, truthful experience of the self, and that it is linked to emotional and experience throughout the higher states of consciousness. This will have a better understanding for what the union of each reality is going to be played out to be. And the mystic is understood for a person who has attained that union with the greater or lesser degree of the self. And as you continue to grow, the mystic would always aim to find communion through the I, through the self, through the sense of union as a fundamental part of its own experience. This is what mystics do. Therefore, that's what mysticism is all about. A sense of participating with that unity that interconnects us all. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this content and would like some more, please hit that subscribe and like button. Until next time.